presentation of Jefferson Pilot Sports, a division of Jefferson Pilot Financial.
Hey, y'all, we're Brooks and Dunn.
And this is the SEC Football Game of the Week.
That's right. Let's see some football.
Let's play some football. Yeah, they blow out on the field like TNT. Those pigskin junkies of the SEC. Get up, get on your feet. Let's rock, let's roll. Get her done, get it on. Tee it up, let's go. Got them Tigers balls tied, hogs, gators, and dogs. Ow, let's play some football.
It's an old-style grudge match as Tennessee travels up Interstate 75 to face Kentucky on our Game of the Week.
Hey, let's play some football.
On Jefferson Pilot Sports.
The cool weather can't stop the football fans here in Lexington, Kentucky, as for the 101st time, it'll be the Kentucky Wildcats and the Tennessee Volunteers on the gridiron from Commonwealth Stadium, the final game of the season for these two clubs. As the Tennessee Volunteers come in here, losers of 4 of their last 5, and Kentucky trying to snap a streak that goes back 20 years. That is losses to the Tennessee Volunteers. And hello again, everybody. I am Dave Neal, and welcome to our All-Tell SEC Game of the Week right here on Jefferson Pilot Sports as we wrap up the 2005 season. Not a great year for either one of these two teams on the football field, and if you talk to the Kentucky fans and their players, they think that this might be their best chance in 2 decades to upset the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee trying to win for the 5th time here in 2005. And joining me, as always, my partner Dave Rowe. And Dave, while it hasn't been exactly all roses for either one of these teams this year, you can look at some young running backs that have put on big-time performances of late. Raphael Little over at Kentucky and Arian Foster for Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. 2 excellent running backs and 2 different styles. For Tennessee, it's Arian Foster. He runs hard to the hole. He gets up in the hole real quick. He reads his blockers really well. He powers through the hole. And I think he can really make a difference. You saw 40 carries last week for 200 yards. On the other side of the ball, if for Kentucky, it's Raphael Little. He's got some of those same qualities, but he's more of a slasher, the cutback. He's always looking for it. He darts through the hole. And you talk about 2 teams that need the running game to step up. Today's that day.
Well, Raphael Little a little bit banged up. He had less than 30 yards on the ground against Georgia. Now, Dave, talk about your Toyota keys to the game.
Well, first of all, for Tennessee, Arian Foster, he is just unbelievable. He's a workhorse. He may need to be really good today because Eric Ainge, at quarterback, has been shaky at best. You want to take pressure off Ainge? Let Foster carry the ball 40 times. And for Kentucky, it's the little things that make a difference, and that's Andre Woodson has not been a dominating quarterback this season, Dave. Add to that the torn ligament in his thumb, and you've got problems. A big cure for that could be Raphael Little. If he, at the end of the game, has 25 to 30 carries, Kentucky will have solved their problems, Dave.
It's a series that goes back to 1893. Tennessee leads it 68-23, and they have tied 9 games, but it's the 101st meeting between these two teams. There is Rich Brooks, who, despite the fact that this club is 3-7 on the year, 2-5 in the league, he feels that he has seen a lot of good things from this young club. Philip Fulmer, well, we all know about what has happened with this football team this season. Randy Sanders, their offensive coordinator, midway through the season, steps down as an offensive coordinator, has been an assistant on the club the rest of the year, but will leave the Tennessee program as soon as this game is over. Kentucky won the toss and they defer, so Tennessee will receive. Comes down to Lucas Taylor, number 12. Lucas out to the 20 to the 25, and that is where Tennessee will set up shop. A 20-yard return. Let's check in with Dave Baker, who talks more about today's quarterbacks.
Hey, Dave, couple of banged-up quarterbacks. First for Tennessee, Rick Clausen not out there. Bad left knee. Thought he was going to be able to go, but it stiffened up later in the week, limping badly before the game. Andre Woodson for Kentucky. He's got a pad on his left hand. He couldn't touch his fingers together. He injured it last week, and what that caused was some problems. Remember how we see Michael Spurlock hand off to the left side with the right hand? Joker Phillips, the Kentucky offensive coordinator, said Rich Brooks saw that at practice one time the other day and about had a heart attack. So it's going to affect what Woodson can do as well.
Arian Foster out of the backfield. Flag down. Penn Wages, our referee today. One play, one flag.
Yeah.
C.J. Phaeton with 24 receptions. A lot of balance out of these guys, but not a lot of big plays. Up front, this is where some changes have happened. Alberto Toina not playing today. He's been suspended for the game. David Ligon will be at center. Richie Gandy also suspended, but only for the first half due to some incidents after last week's Vanderbilt loss. Foster gets the handoff off to the left side. Antoine Huffman runs him out of bounds. You heard Dave Baker talk about Rick Clausen and his lack of mobility, but Eric Gaines will get, we assume, all the snaps today, depending on what transpires over the next 3.5 hours or so. But Dave Rowe, this is a big game for him. When you look at, I mean, he really needs to get the confidence of not only his coaches, but his players as well.
Absolutely. He's got to come out here and take charge. I was watching him in the warm-ups, and Dave, I want to tell you, he looked sharp. Everything was right on. I mean, he looked downfield. He was taking pressure off himself. He looked good.
Chris Brown, the tight end, makes the grab. Flag down. As we take a look at the starting lineup for situation, Wesley Woodyard, the sophomore from LaGrange, leads this team in tackles, and Muhammad Abdullah, boy, he plays about every single snap and brings it every single snap. Here we go, third down and a long three for the Volunteers. 4 wide receiver set. Quick hitter to the middle. Pass is caught, good enough for a first down. It goes to Brett Smith, the junior out of Warren, Arkansas, tripped up by Roger Williams, the strong safety.
And it's interesting to see what Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator for Kentucky, is going to do. He puts pressure. He's got 8 men up on the line of scrimmage. Look how quickly Ainge had to get rid of that ball. Good cut, know where that first down marker is. Just drive him off the line, turn around, and have the ball there. So far, I think Ainge is off to a good start. Those are confidence builders when you complete those first 2 or 3 passes.
Tennessee's first down grab on third down was the first third down conversion against Kentucky in a game. They didn't give up one to Georgia last week. Tripped up for about a 1-yard pickup by the safety Roger Williams as Arian Foster couldn't break free.
Well, this is a good play. It's a string out play. What you do is come along the line and then force him to go left to right. He runs outside, and up comes Roger Williams, just cuts underneath him, takes his legs out from underneath him. And Mike Archer's got to be happy about that.
One of the great defensive minds in the SEC. Catch by Brett Smith out toward midfield. That'll be good enough for a first down. McGrath and Schuler converge on the stop. Brett Smith now with 20 catches after 2 quick ones here today.
Smith is coming off the line. He's in the middle in the slot. He's just going to curl around. See, he just finds an open seam, and Ainge is just building up confidence. I want to tell you, watching Ainge, watch this good delivery. That's a nice pass. I want to tell you something. Ainge has got all the physical characteristics. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. He just has to get the confidence as a quarterback.
6'6", 215 pounds. Hillsboro, Oregon. Another pass by Ainge. It's caught. You can strike up the band for Robert Meacham and the Tennessee Volunteers. 50-yard touchdown pass.
What a catch by Meacham down low. This is a great catch. It's down below his knees. You left to your screen. You're going to see him come in. Look, that's right between the defender. That's Huffman on him. And Meacham just looks down there and has those hands just right underneath that ball. That's perfect. And what a throw by Ainge. Again, one of those confidence builders.
So for Eric Ainge, that'll be his 4th touchdown pass of the year against 7 interceptions. James Wilhoit on to attempt the point after. It is through the uprights. So Tennessee on their opening drive. It didn't take very long, but they march it down the field. A 50-yard touchdown strike for Robert Meacham.
The Alltel SEC Game of the Week is being brought to you by Alltel, by Chick-fil-A, by Geico, by Bell South, by Crystal, and by Hummer.
Seven 0 Tennessee leads Kentucky. Took 2 minutes and 10 seconds for the ball to march it down the field. Season-long pass for Eric Ainge. Season-long reception for Robert Meacham on the 50-yard touchdown strike. 74 yards if you throw in the penalty that moved him back a few yards. It was a relatively long drive where Eric Ainge was 4 out of 4 for 74 yards. Wilhoit to kick it off. It's a good kick that sails all the way through the end zone. So Kentucky will bring it out to the 20-yard line. This Kentucky offense averaging just over 23 points a game. That's a lot better than they were a year ago. The 1st and 10 line, as always, presented by Nexium, the purple pill. This offense last year ranked 114th in the NCAA, 115th in the NCAA.
On Tennessee on the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So we'll wait a moment for this Rich Brooks offense to come back on the field.
That flag kind of caught me. I didn't see it across the field there, Dave. It must have been on the far side.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Well, I know it wasn't down here.
But we talk about this Kentucky offense.
Absolutely. They've got a lot of the pieces of the puzzle, and it takes time to rebuild a team. I think they've got their offensive line starting to come together. They've got a lot of youth there. They're just going to have to get 4 or 5 more players.
Here's Drake Davis from the goal line. Drake got over the 20, tripped up at the 24-yard line, and that is where Kentucky will take over. So a 4-yard improvement for the Wildcats. Let's take a look at our Chevy Kentucky offensive lineup. And Jacob Tamme has 5, have started every game this year. And there's Andre Woodson, 58% completion percentage. Coaches say he just needs to make better decisions and not take a big loss in critical situations. And we'll keep an eye on that hand to see how he handles these snaps with the stretched ligament. First pass, as he gets drilled to the ground, is incomplete. Looking for Alexi Beginge. Let's take a look at our Tennessee defense. And Dave Rowe, as front fours go, as a former front four guy yourself, that's a pretty good group.
Well, many people pick them as the best in the nation front four, and I don't think they've disappointed anybody.
Kevin Simon, a guy that just goes sideline to sideline. His motor never quits. 84 tackles on the year. And, of course, losing Jason Allen has hurt a little bit, but these guys have stepped up without their All-American corner on the field the last 6 games. An improved area for Tennessee in the secondary from a year ago, too. Boy, they just got lit up left and right last season. Woodson swings it out to the far side. Beginge, not much happening. Stopped at the line by Inky Johnson, the corner, who's filling in that spot for Jason Allen.
Boy, and Johnson just read that quickly, got out in the hole, just came. Look at him, he loves that kind of stuff. That's what you've got to do. You've got to attack if you're a cornerback or a safety. He's a weak safety. He just comes up there. Now this hand situation with Woodson, it's his catch hand. It's the one that he puts up under the center's tail and catches the ball with. It shouldn't affect his throwing, but it's going to be very painful coming up and hitting it. You see the tape on it and the little splint up in the thumb area.
Well, here's a situation Joker Phillips didn't want to get himself into, especially early. It was a 3rd down and long. It's 3rd and 10. 4 receiver set.
Here comes Tennessee. They're going to come off the ball.
4-man rush. Pass batted down at the line of scrimmage by Justin Harrell, who already has 1 interception this season. And so Kentucky will have to punt it away.
Just a straight rush, bull rush. Big man on big man. Justin Harrell gets the hands up. See him slide around there now. Get those hands up. Boy, I'll tell you, that play was open. If Woodson been able to get it past Harrell, he had a completion right there. But good play. That's what you do as a defensive lineman. That pass was a little bit low, but it was going to be a dart right in there on that crossing pattern.
Tim Mastay to punt it away to Jonathan Hefney. Wobbly kick. And Hefney lets it bounce at the 40, and the Wildcats will down it at the 36-yard line, just inside the 37-yard line. Time for our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. So we always like to bring you a good nugget, and this one is most rushing yards in a game so far in 2005. Jarius Norwood, 257 against Houston, but look what Arian Foster and Raphael Little did. 198 for Raphael against Vandy, and Foster last week against Vandy put up 223 on 40 carries, one shy of the school record for carries. And as soon as Gerald Riggs went down, they turned the ball over to Arian Foster, and he has produced in they thought that this guy could be a good SEC player, but I think he has definitely overachieved.
Yeah, now they know he's going to be good.
Right. And here is Arian to the 40. We're back at Commonwealth Stadium, and you see Jeff and we here at Jefferson Pilot Sports want to send out the best to all our troops, but especially those on the Kitty Hawk watching today. As Kentucky has been given opportunity after opportunity here in the first quarter. Andre Woodson, quick throw, pass is caught by Glenn Holt at the 25. He'll mark it inside to the 24. Statistics, and Tennessee with 82 yards through the air, and Kentucky not a lot happening offensively, even though they've had the ball. 8:28. I don't know that I've ever seen that.
I know.
8.5 minutes and 17 yards.
I know. That's exactly what I was looking at. I was looking down there waiting for you to say 8.5 minutes.
Well, the last time they created a turnover, they had it first and goal at the 10 and had 4 plays and lost 4 yards. Woodson outruns one defender, but couldn't outrun Tony McDaniel, the big 300-pounder out of Columbia, South Carolina. And with that ligament damage on that thumb, I don't know how much you want to be carrying the football.
Well, there's nowhere to go. He gets outside, but watch how quickly. He's going to get out here, but watch how quickly they close. Now, you read the play. You're coming hard from the inside right there. You got the big man coming down your back. That's McDaniel coming over top. Nice play. Big man can move.
It'll be 4th down and 5, and here comes Taylor Begley. 43-yarder. He's already hit from 31. This looks good, and it's not. It looked pretty, but it misses wide right. The first time Begley has missed in 9 field goal attempts.
Well, Dave, you saw the reaction of Rich Brooks. He knows that when you get a gift and you're giving the ball on the 30-yard line, you have got to get points out of it. And that's the anguish. Again, that ball just faded at the end. It just comes just outside. Right there, looks good. Oh, man, that thing was close.
A little too much hook on that. And another opportunity goes for naught. Tennessee's going to be running out of gifts here pretty soon. Kentucky needs to take advantage. Arian Foster out over the 30 to the 31. Foster so far today, 6 carries, 16 yards.
Well, it's fun for me to watch this chess match because you've got Philip Fulmer over there on offense, and he's plotting his offense. You've got Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator, and he's sitting over here trying to come up with a defensive scheme to stop him. It's a good chess match back and forth. There's, of course, Archer. Doesn't want to show that defense, wants to get pressure, doesn't want to blitz a whole lot because he says that you have to pay the price when you do.
Haynes stands in the pocket. Great catch on the far side from Jason Swain. The junior had to do some acrobatic work on that far sideline and stayed in bounds and made the great reception.
Boy, he looked like a ballet dancer here in the last part of this with Bo Smith. Look at the great concentration. Get that foot down. That is just well. Swain did that just perfect.
27 grabs now for Jason Swain. Leads the team in that department.
How about the throw by Ainge?
Yeah.
That was a very nice throw.
This is not the same quarterback in terms of throwing the football that we have seen this year.
Absolutely.
Handoff to Foster off the right side. Good play in the open field by Bo Smith, but still a 4.5, maybe 5-yard pickup by Foster. You were doing the Tennessee-Vandy game last week, and while I was off doing the Georgia-Kentucky game, and you know, 40 carries is a ton of carries. I mean, did he even look tired down the stretch?
I want to tell you, he was running just as hard at the end as he was in the beginning, and it was 40 times. I kept on thinking, what is the record? It was 41.
I mean, you don't see that very often.
For 223 yards, Dave.
Ainge, here comes some heat. Just throws it away. Good decision by Ainge. As Tennessee's front four really just demolished the front line of Tennessee.
Yeah, they went to a gap blitz that time, and they got good pressure there. Pryor, 98, was the one who got pressure on Eric Ainge.
Almost looked like Tennessee might have been trying to set up a screen the way the Tennessee defensive front got through there.
Now, if you're Phil Fulmer, you're hoping that Eric Ainge keeps his calmness, stay in the pocket, have confidence in your line, look downfield, and find one of those three to the bottom open.
Ainge passes caught. Josh Briscoe, the true freshman, will pick up the first down. Shamari Moore brings him down, but another good throw from Eric Ainge.
Absolutely. Stayed in the pocket. He had trips to the left. And watch him just sit back here. He's not looking at the pressure. You see the pressure coming on him? He is not looking at that pressure. He's looking at his wide receiver. And so many times that as he finds Briscoe. There's Randy Sanders, the former offensive coordinator, I guess you would say. He's got to be happy with this because he has suffered all season long with that quarterback controversy.
Still handles the quarterbacks, and he's got to be happy with what Eric Ainge has done so far. Ainge over the middle. Boy, what a strike. Pass is caught to the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. It's Chris Hammond. It's the third touchdown catch by Hannon this year. That one goes 32 yards. And give a lot of the credit to Eric Ainge.
Oh, Ainge just sat back there, looked downfield, was so calm. When he's down there, watch how pretty the ball is thrown. Just right on a dart. It looked like it might have gotten tipped right in there. But good concentration by Hannon to look that football in. But Ainge looking downfield, a lot of confidence now, Dave. Look at the smile on his face. We haven't seen that a lot. He's enjoying the game.
Where has that been all year? 40% completion rate coming into this game for Eric Ainge. The extra point is up and good. For Eric Ainge, he is 9 out of 13 for a $146 and 2 TD strikes. It's our all-tell SEC Game of the Week from Lexington, Kentucky. Dave Neal, Dave Rowe, and Dave Baker on hand. Glad you could join us on the final telecast of 2005 as Tennessee has opened up a 14-3 lead. Drake Davis will take a knee in the end zone. And Dave, let's go back to the touchdown because actually, upon further review, Kentucky had a chance here.
Watch number 11. That's Ben McGrath. He's going to actually get his hands on the ball. You talk about a game of inches. You see the ball deflected right there. Good concentration by Hannon, looking that ball in. They say the game is a game of inches. Wow.
That drive, 6 plays, 68 yards, and because it's a successful drive, it means another $500 to the SEC's education initiative, courtesy of Safe Auto Insurance Company. Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO, and you too can be a successful driver. Jacob Tamme back in at tight end. He left earlier, limping off the field on the last possession, but he's back in at tight end. Here's Woodson. Pass is caught by Keenan Burton, spins out of trouble, picks up the first down at the 31-yard line.
Boy, a step up today. He's got to have a big day at wide receiver.
He was one of the guys I said, who needs to have a really good offseason for you? And he said Keenan Burton. He needs to stay healthy. He missed 4 games with a broken foot. Curtis Pulley back in at quarterback. Takes a snap. He has some time. Fires. Pass is low, but caught.
Excuse me, that's Pulley in there. I said Woodson. I apologize on that.
Scott Mitchell's first grab in 2 games. He had a streak of 19 straight games with a reception. Pulley dropped the moment he got the football. John Poe came in on a linebacker blitz and dropped Curtis Pulley for a loss of, say, 2 on the play.
When he saw it immediately, Pulley saw that. He saw that Poe was coming from the outside. And Poe is going to be right here. He's just going to come right underneath and get it. Watch this. Clear. Nobody there. Look at when Pulley pulls that ball down, he's got to run with it. And, you know, I watched Poe play a lot last week, and I said, hey, Kevin Simon owns that middle linebacker spot. And they said Kevin Simons is banged up. He's been hurt a lot this season.
Played through a lot of pain throughout his career, has Kevin Simon. Here's Drake Davis on a shovel pass that got a couple of yards, but a big hit at the line. Looked like Omar Gaither came in there and made the hit for the Volunteers. 44.
Well, Kentucky trying to do a lot of tricks right now, trying to move that football. This Tennessee team is well coached. They know their fundamentals, and Rich Brooks is trying to pull all the tricks out of the hat to try to get some offense, get that ball, move the chains, keep it away from Tennessee.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10. And it looks as though Andre Woodson is heading into the locker room. We'll get an update on that in a moment as Pulley stands in the pocket, fires to Raphael Little, makes a couple of guys miss. He's into Tennessee territory, and he has the 1st down.
A lot of pressure on Pulley right now. He's had a lot of snaps, and he's run the ball 31 times, but he doesn't have Woodson to sit back there in case he gets into trouble.
Little quarterback draw. Here's a chance to see Pulley in action. Using his feet, picks up the 1st down. Pushed hard out of bounds to the far side. 1st down, 16. 1st and 10 from the 29. Here comes some heat again from Tennessee. Over the middle, pass is caught. Still on his feet is Tommy Cook. Down to the 12, make it the 11-yard line.
Well, missed tackles will kill you, and right now this is something that I've not seen. Safety. 2 missed tackles on 1 play for Tennessee.
Little quarterback keeper. Pulley down to the 5-yard line. Experience.
Hey, you know what? I like this Pulley. I like the way he puts his head down and rams up there. He's not a sissy back there, quarterback. That time there, he did a bull just coming in there.
Pulley keeps it, swarmed by white jerseys, loses a yard or 2. Marvin Mitchell led the charge for the Vols.
And Dave, that was going to be that little toss underneath. It was covered, and Pulley had no decision to make. He had to just go outside and just eat it.
Well, let's go downstairs, check in with Dave Baker, has more on Andre Woodson.
Yeah, Dave, I had a chance to end on how well Curtis Pulley continues to play.
Thank you, Buzz. Pulley drops back, throwing to Little. He's to the 5, down to the 2, and he might have the 1st down. He's got to get just inside the 2 for the 1st down. And the crowd boos. I don't think they like the spot.
Well, you want to get the hands you want to get the ball in the hands of Raphael Little. And that's exactly what Pulley does. He's just going to dump it right there. Now let him run through, and let's see where he goes down. Right there's his. Oh, that's a good call. You see where his knee was down? He fell down at the 1-yard line. But watch where the ball is when his knee hits. Right there. The ball is back in this area here. It's not up on the 6-inch line.
The 1st down marker's at about the 1.5. I don't know. That spot's kind of tricky. Kim Anderson, our spotter, says it's a good spot. I'll go with him. He's had LASIK eye surgery.
Yeah, I was going to help Buzz out. That AC joint, I know that real well. It's the acromioclavicular. How you like that, buddy?
Well,
Yes, sir. We are.
on 4th and 1, actually 4th and inches, Rich Brooks says, what the heck, let's go for it.
Sure. He did it out in midfield. Why not?
Down 14-3, last game of the year. You got to try to stuff it in there. They missed on their only 4th down try today, but a flag is down. Pulley got the 1st down.
Oh.
Penalty will be 5 yards.
And now you go to 4th and 6. I say, why not?
Well, they're looking here. Oh, you know what? Look right on the Rich Brooks. He's just saying, what am I going to do? Watch right in here, that area right there. Watch the flinch. See, right? Oh, yeah, right there. Absolutely.
Like tight end with a flinch.
Yeah. Boy, and that's huge. That is so big. I mean, you're talking about 7 points, almost guaranteed.
Kentucky, the second least penalized team in the league this year. They've really improved in that department, but that time they got bitten by the false start. Now Taylor Begley comes on to attempt yards.
Talked about the gifts. They got 2 great gifts. Now they've had a drive down in there. They look like they're going to get a first down. They're going to have to settle for a field goal.
Begley drills it through the uprights, but not what the Kentucky faithful had been looking for. 6:14 to go before halftime. Tennessee leads 14-6. Back after a word from your local station. Tennessee leading Kentucky 14-6. 6:14 to go before halftime. Take a look at that scoring drive that went 11 plays for Kentucky. The upside of that is Curtis Pooley, 5 out of 5, 47 yards on that drive.
Yeah, that's the upside, but you cannot get 3 gifts. Tennessee is not going to keep on giving you gifts like they've given in this first half. You get those opportunities, you got to get touchdowns.
You know, they had a great drive in the first quarter last week against Georgia, did Kentucky. Marched it over 8 minutes. They get down in the red zone. They stalled out, had to settle for 3 points, and then Georgia took over from that point on. Lucas Taylor at the goal line. Tripped up at the 15-yard line. That would pretty much cover me for Christmas. Here's Foster, missed tackle by Kentucky. He gets it out over the 20 to the 21-yard line. That'll be about 4 yards shy of the first down.
And Dave, I thought it interesting when in our conversation with Rich Brooks yesterday, head coach, I said, well, coach, what's the key to the game? He said, survive the second quarter. He said, we just want to get through the second quarter. It's been an incredible second quarter for them.
Yeah, they have been just hammered in the second quarter all year long, and he doesn't even know the answers. So he says, you know, and he says, as a coach, I've been in this business a long time. They've talked about it and they just don't know why.
Yeah, they went back and looked and saw if it was field position. They said that no. They saw turnovers. Well, it wasn't that. He had no answers.
Here's Foster. He's got running room. First down and then some. Arian Foster cuts it back to the middle. A flag is down. Foster will score another lengthy touchdown, but a flag right in front of the Tennessee sideline.
That may be a hold by Brett Smith, number 9. If it is, Philip Fulmer and his staff, they're going to go berserk. See the officials discussing it.
Arian Foster's already had a 65-yard run called back for illegal motion, and now he has this one come back, and this one goes about 67 yards.
Holding, number 9 on the offense. Penalty will be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Down results in a first down.
Now, they got pressure. They got a blitz on him. And look how Ames reads that blitz and dumps that football. That's Roger Williams on the blitz. Now he dumps the ball out here to the left. Now watch what Arian Foster does with it. Right in here. Now there's going to be the hole. Let's watch that play right there. You're locked up with him. Oh, look at the hand. You see that left hand? Oh, he's got those hands wrapped around him. That's David Jones that's being held. Oh.
It is a first down, however, at midfield for Tennessee. This time, the Wildcats read the quick pass to Chris Hannon. Bo Smith all over it. And talking to Mike Archer, he said that Bo Smith, best player on defense, just the best all-around athlete. Let's go down to Dave Baker for an All-Tel sideline report.
Boy, Dave, you just saw that run by Arian Foster. I think it's indicative of what's happened in the league this year and what offensive coordinators are trying to do. They identify their playmakers, and how do you get the ball to them the most times? I mean, a guy like Foster, a guy like McFadden, a guy like Raphael Little, that seems to be the key this year, getting it to them, and as we saw in the pregame, have those big guys make a big play.
David Yancey gets the handoff. He'll pick up the first down as he drives it inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line, and a late flag came in after the play. Yancey only his 10th carry all season long. So Corey Williams, a freshman out of Louisiana, is banged up. They had him listed at second team, but he's not playing today.
Oh. That's dead ball, personal foul, both sides. I think it was 52 on Tennessee.
Is it after the play?
Yes, dead ball.
And a first down.
Thank you, Penn.
Yeah.
So that'll be another first down for the Tennessee offense. Yancey stays in at tailback. Hulbert, your fullback.
And let me apologize to Rob Smith. He's that big junior guard, number 52. He wasn't holding. He didn't do anything.
Yancey gets 2 on the carry. B.J. Parsons brings him down. A couple of scores for you as Maryland 7-3 second quarter. Both those teams looking for a bowl game, and Iowa State now back in front of Kansas.
Yeah, very happy.
Hasn't been a whole lot to cheer about for Iowa State in football since Dave left. I don't even know if there was much to cheer about then.
Oh, he's listening.
Yeah, I know. David Yancey hit by Trey Melch.
Not even here to defend himself.
Well, I figure that's the good time to take a shot, right? When they're not here.
Yeah. Take a shot and run.
We're under 3 minutes to go. There's Randy Sanders. It's kind of a play calling by committee for Tennessee. Randy still locked in despite the fact this is his last game as an assistant coach for the Vols. 3rd and 5.
Coming pressure.
Parsons misses Ainge. Eric pump fakes, tries to run for it, dives, and he's short. Good coverage downfield by Kentucky. Forces Ainge.
Segment, and let me tell you, the brats have been sizzling on the grill all fall long. We've been around the Southeast, and people are loving their football and their thanks to the folks at Johnsonville for being here with us. And that's our Taste of Tailgating, brought to you by Johnsonville Brats. Here at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, the Tennessee Vols lead the Kentucky Wildcats by a count of 17-6. Kentucky's had the football an awfully long time, only 6 points to show for it. Eric Ainge been able to come up with the big plays, but Tennessee has not been able to hang on to the football, and that means it's only 17-6. Speaking of big plays, a big play guy, the man who we'll talk about in this week's BC Pass Play of the Week, Vandy quarterback Jay Cup. If their team can't hold on to the football, we've got a good one right now. Man, being out in the cold like this, you might need some pain relief as well. The Cats trail the Volunteers by a count of 17-6. We're coming back to Lexington right after this.
We're recognized for our dedication to quality in academics and in business. And fans of Dr. Pepper are...
Draxon from Pfizer Animal Health presents the SEC Good Works Team, recognizing superior community service efforts by league football players. Today's honoree is senior tight end Jeremiah.
It is 17-6. The Tennessee Volunteers on top of the Kentucky Wildcats in the 2005 regular season finale from here at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington. Next week, it's the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. And as we take a look at our Advance Auto Parts drive to the SEC championship standings, you see that Georgia has successfully completed that drive with a 6-2 conference record. The Bulldogs wrapping up the East last week with a win over Kentucky. And yesterday, it was LSU holding off a furious come-from-behind effort by Arkansas to win the West as Les Miles in his first year, Georgia and LSU. We know it's been a super season of Southeastern Conference football. We've seen guys do it here in the first half. What you have to do to win games is you have to have guys to make plays.
Let's go, South, baby! It's your world!
They trying to come in your backyard. Oh, take what's yours, and we don't allow that. One time, let's take outside. Game time, baby, game time.
It's a touchdown! Oh my! A beautiful one-handed running grab!
Royal looks that way, throws it long, into the grasp of Tyrone Copeland.
Lawson waits for the snap, gets it, hands it tailback, Riggs for the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee! Instant victory in overtime in Baton Rouge.
He's going to throw it all. It's going to be caught! Caught! Touchdown! Holy cow! Early through set, I believe it was.
the Gamecocks off the sideline. Steve Spurrier's done it. If he wasn't in the minds of the Vols before, he always will be now. Takes the knee. How about that? Look at him join the field, because we got time to celebrate.
For the win. The kick on the way. It is up. It is good!
Yeah. Russell back to throw. Can't find anybody. Now he does throw it, and it is caught. Tigers win! Tigers win! Touchdown, LSU!
A great season filled with great plays by great playmakers. It has been a delight to be all over the SEC each and every weekend, and we're delighted that you're here with us. We're on top of the Kentucky Wildcats here as we wrap up the 2005 regular season, 17-6 in Lexington. Dave Baker back here with you fieldside as we head back up top to the guys who'll bring you home in the second half, Dave Neal and Dave Rowe. Guys, when we talked with Philip Fulmer, we opened this regular season with the Vols taking on the UAB Blazers. I think what we're seeing today is the Eric Ainge that the Tennessee coaches thought they had when they began this season.
Buzz, there is no doubt that this is the best performance for Eric Ainge in 2005. It's almost reminiscent of last year before he had the shoulder injury against Notre Dame, and he's really found a real good rhythm, I think, and the offense has responded. They've moved the football to the tune of 239 yards in the first half.
Yeah, he's been very, very, very sharp. And even the passes he has not completed, Dave, he has been right on. Had at least 2 drops. He'd have been 16 for 19 in that first half.
Pretty flawless, to say the least. Take a look at those first half highlights.
Well, it's been a highlights of sometimes mistakes, but not with Eric Ainge. Throws that first one to Meacham, and Meacham just took it off for a 55-yard score, and that started a little bit of an onslaught. Great hit right there by Drake Davis to get the ball, gave him good field position. Kentucky has had field position twice, and they've only come away with 6 points. The 2 field goal tries. And you've got to score when you get an opportunity, and Tennessee did as they completed that one to Hannon, and that raised the score. But Woodson came back. He got a good little tip right there. He got a good little hit, I should say, and he came back, kicked another field goal. So, you know, they're in this football game, but you've got to take advantage when your defense is playing that strong as Tennessee's is. You've got to be able to move the football and score touchdowns.
16 minutes of time of possession for QK, just 116 yards, only 43 of those on the ground, and 2 turnovers by Tennessee, and Kentucky couldn't do much with those.
That's the biggest key in the game is those 2 turnovers because Kentucky only got 6 points off them. You got to get better than that.
Let's take a look at our Toyota keys to the game and revisit your thoughts.
Well, we talked about awesome Arian Foster, and he's not been awesome. He's had 9 carries, only 24 yards. He's not been a real factor for Tennessee, but Eric Ainge has been. We thought that it would take Foster to take the pressure off Ainge. Ainge has responded, and little things make a difference. Little really hasn't been a huge factor in this game.
Arian Foster has had a 70-yard pass reception called back and a 60-yard touchdown run called back. What's in store?
SEC football is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts.
Halftime is over. Tennessee and Kentucky getting ready to resume second half action. Let's check in with Dave Baker.
Bunch, you just got to get it across the goal line.
Well, we've had some chances and not capitalized with touchdowns. And against a team like this, you need 7s, not 3s.
All right, thanks, Rich. We appreciate it. Rich Brooks, Dave.
Thank you, Buzz. As on overcast, cool day in Lexington, Kentucky. We'll see what Andre Woodson has for us. He left the game and went to the locker room with a shoulder injury, came back out, threw the football a few moments, and then first half came to a conclusion. So we don't know how much, if any, he will play, but Curtis Pulley certainly did a nice job. He rushed 6 times for 20 yards. He was 6 of 7 for 51 yards through the air. So I'm thinking to myself,
yeah, let him in. Let him stay. Right. Why do you change him? Exactly. But with Woodson, what happens when you go in, and people might say it's the left hand, the left shoulder, that still affects him.
Well, joining us now is I would assume a happy man. LSU's head football coach, Les Miles. He is with us on the phone and back in Baton Rouge. And first of all, Coach Miles, congratulations.
Just to let you know, but this football team has really achieved, and irrespective of the hurdles, irrespective of the storm, irrespective of a short week or an emotional loss early in the season.
Oh, well, 56 yards on the ground. I mean, was that the key yesterday to picking up the win over Arkansas?
No question. If our defense, really had a penchant in that game for understanding that, Arkansas.
To go and first off, your thoughts about being in the SEC this year. If you've run through the regular season now, your thoughts about this league after 3 months of playing in this I guess, environment.
Well, it's the environment is emotionally charged. Everybody in the South loves SEC football. I can't right here in the SEC. And I think athletically and talent-wise, I think from top to bottom, the schools of our conference are laden with talent and have ability. And it'll be exciting. They are a very talented team. Their quarterback's back healthy now and playing well. They're really little or few weaknesses in their offense, defense, or special teams. I think it's going to be a great matchup to be the head coach at LSU.
All right, well, we will see you in Atlanta next weekend for the SEC Championship game. Be sure to join me if you can at the SEC Coaches Luncheon.
Well, that'll be great. I look forward to seeing you there as well.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Have a good one. So we will spend some time at the Coaches Luncheon with Dave. Kentucky really needs to do something with the football. We've talked about field goal after field goal, but you've got to put it in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. And Rich Brooks summed it up. You got to get 7s, not 3s. You can't be 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. You see the number of times 3 and 4 and out. You can't do that against the Tennessee team if you expect to win. You got to consistently move the chains.
And that is caught by Jacob Tamme, and that will be good enough for a first down. So he's played wide receiver. They've tried to get him the football, Dave. He hasn't been I would say sitting on the sidelines all year watching. So he's been hit and knocked around a little bit. That's got to help.
Yeah, and one of the things I liked when you asked Rich Brooks, you said, now, what does he have to do? He said, is he going to sit the bench? And he said, no, he's not going to sit the bench. He'll be somewhere out there on that field.
Well, Kentucky had a couple of injuries right before halftime, and let's check in, get an update on those with Dave Baker.
Yeah, Dave, as we told you before.
Thank you very much, Buzz. On top of, might be Buzz's best game all year.
Hey, he's sharp. He's home.
Oh, that little shovel pass did not work very well. Tennessee had scoped that out, and that loses a couple.
Yeah, it doesn't work when you get penetration like Mahalona does, 55. He just breaks through the line. You'll see him come up here, and Harrelson, too. They came up there, and they just broke it down. Stick on the outside there, a little chicken fight going on there. You see number 4 out there.
Mahalona's tackles, only 34 this year. He has 8 tackles for loss and a couple of sacks. But if you watch any game tape, folks, he is being double and triple teamed, which has allowed guys like Paris Harrelson and Jason Hall to have career seasons.
Yes, absolutely. And talking with John Chavis, you asked him, you said, what happened to Jesse Mahalona this year? He said, well, you've got 2 on him this year all the time. Oh.
Pass is caught by Keenan Burton on the far side. That's another Kentucky first down.
All those 3 and outs in the first half. This is a good sustained drive. Move the chains. First downs. But you need touchdowns. Oh, no.
Miscommunication. Pulley pays the price. 4 white jerseys got a lick on him as Robert Ayers finally will get credit for that tackle. The freshman, Cleo, South Carolina.
Boy, that is a lonely feeling if you're a quarterback. You hold that ball out, and he just kind of held it out there going, anybody want it? Boy, anybody want it? Look, you want it? No. You want it? Oh gosh. And now, look at Tennessee react, come back in there.
Curtis Pulley, the freshman from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, came into this game 8 out of 17 for 53 yards this year in limited time as the quarterback. And now he is 9 out of 11. That shovel pass gets nothing. Pushed out of bounds on the far side by Kevin Simon. Getting bumped around by some blue jerseys.
I'll tell you, I've seen Kevin Simon. You don't want to mess around with Kevin Simon. That man is put together. It's a physical game. He shoved him, yes. It was out of bounds, yes. But I'll tell you this, that shuffle pass, that little pass underneath is not working because they're crushing the line up in there. There's no place to throw it. You have to have a zone. You have to have a cut where he can come underneath. You're hoping that you, oh, there's that little push at the tail end that caused all the commotion. But I think I'd have, you know what? If you're a white shirt over there, there was a lot of blue shirts over there. But I think Kevin Simon can take care of himself.
3rd down and 9.
Here's the big down for Pulley. Here comes pressure.
Raphael Little making some people miss, and he picks up a 1st down.
3 miss.
Raphael Little, 180 all-purpose yards per game. That's his average, which is 1st in the league, 4th in the country. Hand off to the right side, goes to Drake Davis. Davis trying to turn the corner. He does get the edge and picks up 8, maybe 9 before chance at the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? He's got some wide outs. He's got him split. He's got a slot to the bottom side here, and he's got one single receiver up at the top.
With quarterback draw, that'll pick up the 1st down. Some tailgating experience. 15th play of this drive.
Oh, this is a great drive, but you can't settle for a field goal. You've got to have a touchdown.
Trying to set up the screen. They do so. Bagingi to the 10, run out of bounds. That's a gain of 7 on the play.
Because you got a new center down here in the red zone for the Cats.
Travis Slayton comes in, the junior from Texas. Will snap it back to Pulley, who's in the shotgun. Little quarterback keeper, dropped the football. It's loose. Still loose, and Tennessee have it.
Oh,
are you kidding me? 3 blue jerseys had a chance to pick up that football, and nobody could corral it.
Well, it's because they tried to pick it up and run with it. You got to just fall on that ball. Golly, you can't do this. You cannot turn the football over. You've just driven the ball 70 yards or better. You got a quarterback sneak in, and it's stuffed at the line right there. They ripped the ball out. Now look, they see they tried to pick it up. That's exactly what was wrong. They tried to pick the football up as it was fumbled. And for Pulley, you got to put that ball away. It's called ball security.
Paris Harrelson forced the fumble. Kevin Simon picked it up, and now Tennessee takes over, and that was 16 plays on that drive that results in nothing. The opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Here's the handoff. Arian Foster trying to get the corner. Not much happening there, but a flag comes down, and Dave Baker down on the sidelines. Interesting that we had this conversation yesterday with Joker Phillips about these lengthy drives and his thoughts on those.
Yeah, great point, Dave. A lot of offensive coordinators say, you know, once they look at their charts and it gets to 6, 7, 8 plays in a drive, they want to take a shot because it's kind of like being at one of those casino tables. The more you play, the more the odds go against you that something like that's going to happen.
But you know, most offenses stop themselves. I mean, they have a holding call, they have an offsides, a flinch.
Tennessee's done it 4 times today. The other times, when they haven't stopped themselves, they've marched it down the field.
Exactly. This is a huge series, especially for the defense right now, Kentucky. If they can stop them here, they'll get the ball back.
And off right guard, Foster out over the 10 to the 12-yard line. That'll be a game. Ups, and he was hobbling around. I mean, it is. He could play in a needed situation, and you know he wants to play, but he is just hobbled. Got hurt in the last play of the game.
Yeah, in that last week in Vandy. And you know what's interesting? He and Eric Ainge are great friends. I mean, there's nobody's pulling more for Eric Ainge than Rick Clausen.
Couple of tight ends. Here's Foster off the left side. Needs a couple, doesn't get it. Fumbled football, and Kentucky has it, but it will be down. I was going to say it's down at the 19-yard line, which is still good news for Kentucky, as it'll bring up 4th down at about 2.5.
Wow, this could have really turned this football game back to Kentucky's way. Ball was ripped out. Now they make him run along the line. They don't allow him to turn up. And Foster gets to the outside right. Oh, he's definitely down. Yes, that's an easy call. The official made a good call right there. Again, when that knee is down, and right there, that knee is down. Ball comes out afterwards, no doubt.
Britton Colquitt to punt it away. Kentucky has blocked 6 kicks, 3 punts, and 3 field goal attempts. And this is an outstanding kick. Tight spiral that turns over and sends Little back to the 27. Raphael Little now out over the 40. A 53-yard kick. Brad Cottom, a tight end, able to bring him down. Timeout on the field. Back after this. Look at that Tennessee bench on a cool day. Boy, it was cold when we got off the airplane yesterday. It was down in the teens here in Lexington, but apparently warmed up. Apparently, someone said in the 50s, but I'd like to see what they were drinking before the game.
It's not the 50s today. Rich Brooks said 13 on Turkey Day. Woo!
And he had his club out there practicing in the morning. Here's Pooley throwing on the run and throws it out of bounds, and not a bad idea. And that's a play that Coach Rich Brooks had told us that Andre Woodson had not made. There are times where he would have taken a sack in that situation.
It's called game management. That's what he wants. He wants him to manage the game and make good decisions. That time he was going to get dropped for about a 6-7 yard loss. He didn't. Threw it off.
You see Kentucky today inside the red zone. 2 field goals. They missed a field goal and then put the football on the ground. You can't go in there 4 times and only have 6 points and expect to win.
Well, Tennessee doesn't let you score much in the third quarter either. They are incredible in that third quarter. I think they've only allowed 18 points.
Little makes some people miss. He'll pick up the first down and then some. He's to the 32-yard line, but a flag down at the 45 of Kentucky. Jonathan Hefney tripped him up, but we'll see if the play stands.
You see Rich Brooks looking over there. All the Kentucky players and the coaches were looking over there, and when they saw that hand in the back, or hold I should say, man, they all just looked up in the air.
Illegal block in the back. Number 79 on the offense. Penalty will be 10 yards. It will be second down.
Kentucky had a block in the back on a punt return for 75 yards last week against Georgia. That cost him a touchdown. This wasn't a touchdown, but nonetheless a big play.
Yeah, watch on the right side of your screen. You're going to see a block in the back. When he throws the ball back, right there. You see the block right in the back right there? It's a good call. It's a good call. And it's Gary Williams, the left tackle, who did it on Marvin Mitchell, number 40.
So second down and 19 now after the big gain is nullified. Bully over the middle. Raphael Little is stuck at the 40-yard line. Omar Gaither was the first man there, but then Marvin Mitchell came flying in and laid the wood to Raphael. Marvin, 6'3", about 255, just a junior out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah, and he took the place of Jason Mitchell. You remember who had that ACL tear and worked all the way through the season at linebacker and got operated on last week. I know that was a loss, except Marvin Mitchell Jr. gets a chance to play.
Boy, both these teams have had penalties that have nullified some big plays. Arian Foster's had a couple of touchdowns called back. Raphael Little's had some big gains called back.
A lot of time.
Bully stands in there, fires near side. Pass is caught by Tommy Cook, whose dad moved in from Texas for the season and lives in a camper here in Lexington. A great story that his dad just decided to pick up Tommy Cook, a 6th-year senior. His dad comes and says, you know what, I'm just going to get a camper and I'm going to head over to Lexington and spend the year with my boy.
Well, I enjoyed watching my son play football. Let me tell you, that's a real thrill. Those are moments you never forget, my friend. You're getting ready to have another one, so you may be watching that in a few years.
48 hours. The clock is ticking, brother. High end over end wobbly kick, flag down. Way back at the 34-yard line. It's a 37-yard punt. Had good hang time. Yeah, my wife is watching. Let me just say, I don't have my phone on me, baby. So if you call, I'm not going to pick it up.
Yeah. Well, would your wife do? You're going to have the baby Monday.
Monday morning.
Ah, Monday morning. That's wonderful, and what a thrill.
Thank you. Old against Tennessee. That is yet another penalty against the Vols. Move in with Tommy Cook's dad. Who knows? Save me some space, Mr. Cook. And we will have a timeout here with Tennessee leading Kentucky 17-6. Back after word from your local stations. 17-6 Tennessee with the football. Third quarter action, 4:26 left in this third stanza of our season finale. From JP Sports, of course, the championship game of the Southeastern Conference next Saturday from the Georgia Dome. That handoff goes to Foster. Not much happening on a 1st and 10 carry, brought down by Bo Smith.
Boy, Bo Smith just darted in. He was playing cornerback on that play. He just darted in from his cornerback. They know right now that Tennessee's going to try to run the football. They want to control the clock. I'm waiting for Ames to get a little bit warm and start throwing that football again.
1st and 10 line presented by Nexium, the purple pill. Yeah, I'm not mistaken. I don't think Ainge has thrown a pass here in the third quarter. 14 out of 19. He hasn't thrown a pass yet. 14 out of 19, 201. All came in the first half. Now he throws it.
Oh, pretty.
They should keep throwing it the way he's going. Robert Meacham with the grab. Now 15 out of 20. That'll be a first down.
And if you count the 2 passes he had dropped, the touchdown pass and the other one, he'd be 17 to 20. That's pretty strong stats.
The Egg Bowl has started as we look at our Aaron scoreboard, and Ole Miss on top of Mississippi State. Two teams that would just as soon get this season over with and look to 2006. NC State by a field goal over Maryland, and Iowa State hanging on over Kansas, looking for that Big 12 title game appearance against Texas. Here's Foster. He's got some running room to the 35, and he's tripped up there. That tackle made by Muhammad Abdullah.
Good blocks up front. Nice block there by Rich Gandy, number 74. Richie Gandy gets a good block. Right guard is going to get a good block on that play. See him right. Well, you didn't really see him in there. He knocked him down, but he's got a good block on the outside. I really like the way Foster runs. So I want to tell you something. I know that they lost Gerald Riggs, and that was a huge loss. But Foster has stepped up for him, I should say.
Here's Foster. Look at him run. He got good blocking up front, but then he makes a couple of guys miss or at least slow down, and he gets it out close to midfield. That'll be another Tennessee first down.
Yeah, good blocks at the point of attack, and then shifty feet up front. Gets good block at the attack. They cut down inside. That's Raymond Foster, number 78. He got a good block inside. Then you just let Foster get in that secondary, and he just starts dancing around. Foster, number 78, stepping up for getting his chance to start today.
Now Hardesty picking up big chunks at a time. That'll be a 6-yard gain. And it looks like a Tennessee player slow to get up on that offensive line. Looks like Rob Smith. Left guard hobbling off. Rob Smith, the junior out of Fort Thomas, Kentucky.
You want before I find out what the injury is.
The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Sports is prohibited. Dave Neal, Dave Rowe, Dave Baker from Lexington, Kentucky. 6th play of this drive.
Good control by Eric Ainge on this.
Tennessee certainly has a lot to dance about. 24-6 over the Wildcats. And now Kentucky facing a 4th down and 16. Will punt it away. Tim Estee to punt it. A true freshman from Murray, Kentucky. Jonathan Hefney stands back at his 30-yard line. Low line drive kick. That gets a good roll, and Drake Davis will down it at the 36-yard line. Curtis Pooley, by the way, 16 out of 21 for 116 yards today, as we look at some more numbers in our Gatorade third quarter statistics. 25 minutes of possession time for Kentucky. They have racked up 202 yards, but only 6 points on the board.
Yeah, that Ainge, 16 of 22. 204 yards all in the first half. That was an incredible first half. I want to see him throw it some more. I think he's got a lot of confidence, and we've talked a lot about that. But they're going to run it here, just trying to keep the ball down, use the clock.
Austin Rogers, the true freshman, on a little bit of a reverse. He'll pick up the first down inside Kentucky territory, back to the 38. Wesley Woodyard will bring him down. That's 9 tackles for Woodyard.
How about Aaron Sears, big number 76? Big number 76 is going to be out leading this reverse. Look at him out there. Good cut right there. Gets a good block. Frees Rogers up. Again, you'll see number 76 right there. Cut him down.
Rogers with great speed, the freshman, true freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee. He and Josh Briscoe, another freshman, true freshman. Briscoe from Shelby, North Carolina. And then Lucas Taylor, another true freshman in that wide receiver core. Here's Arian Foster. Arian, the redshirt freshman out of San Diego, California, picks up a first down. And now Arian Foster is showing a little bit of what we saw last week.
Good blocks up front. They locked him down in there. Good block by the wide out there. Schuler gets a good, I should say Chris Brown gets a good block on Schuler to free him up. You're right. When Tennessee can pound it on you, Dave, they're just going to keep on pounding it. They're not going to go get fancy. They don't make mistakes. Now's the time when you're just going to have to stop them, or they're going to drive it down your throat.
Foster slipped, but fell forward for a couple. As you look at Arian Foster, remember there was a young man by the name of Montario Hardesty who the coaches raved about at Tennessee at a fall camp. A little bit banged up, loved his skill. Montario was starting to get some action, got hurt against Ole Miss, blew out his knee, and had he not gotten hurt, Arian Foster wouldn't have been the guy, the next guy in line behind Gerald Riggs. And because of that, now Philip Fulmer goes into next season knowing I got a guy who I can rely on.
That's exactly right. He goes in there saying, I got depth. Right. I got depth at that position because Foster got his chance. And you know what? As a football player, that's all you want. You want a chance to prove yourself.
Clausen throws it away as he was under pressure. That came from Wesley Woodyard. Rick Clausen will end his career here. Of course, started at LSU, then transferred to Tennessee. And, of course, he's got a younger brother that is on his way to a college of his choice.
Yeah. I wonder where he's going. I wonder where he's
Well, you know, I really think that what happens with the offensive coordinator position in Tennessee will have a lot to do with where Jimmy Clausen goes. Big hit on Lucas Taylor. It's incomplete. Wesley Woodyard with the big collision.
Yeah, with the Randy Sanders departure, and he was certainly instrumental. But a lot of people are pointing at David Cutcliffe.
Yes, they are. And, you know, I mean, if he's... you almost would be crazy not to... if David Cutcliffe wants an offensive coordinator position, you'd be crazy not to offer it to him.
Oh, he had such marvelous success. Look at the string of quarterbacks that he developed.
And there is Randy Sanders, who I talked to before the game today, and I said, so what's next? He says, I'll get up in the morning, go to the office, and clean it out.
Well, you know, he's been a Tennessee fella for his whole career. Played, of course, came as a grad assistant, then just a wonderful guy.
40-yard field goal from James Wilhoit is good. His second today. He hit from 31 earlier. The lead is now 21. It's 27-6. 27-6, Tennessee on top of Kentucky as the Volunteers looking to stretch out their advantage over Kentucky. They have dominated this series, 20 straight, trying to make it 21 as you look at that last drive, and it was successful. So that means another $500 to the SEC's education initiative, courtesy of Safe Auto Insurance Company. Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO, and you too can be a successful driver. That kick comes to Drake Davis. Davis to the 20. Davis to the 30. Davis to the 36-yard line. 32-yard return. John Chavis' defense has been, I would say, on top of it today, Dave Rowe.
Absolutely. And they've been in the face of Kentucky all day long in the backfield. That's where they play. They come off the ball hard. You see the results there. Every once in a while, you're going to get a lucky play. That time by Justin Harrell, but they've been in the backfield. Great penetration. Every time the quarterback has gotten the ball off, he's been down.
Curtis Pulley stands in there, fires, and is it picked off? They will say yes by Jonathan Hefney, his 3rd of the season. Pooley was looking for Scott Mitchell, and the ball sailed on him, and Hefney, the sophomore out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, comes up with the INT.
Yeah, a little play action fake right there and come back. And what he does is he just either overthrew. I thought he was actually going to the wide out, going down the sideline, but he may have been, as you said, it may have sailed over top of the head. But Hefney, playing the quarterback's eyes, moves to the ball.
I'm looking down at Rich Brooks right now, as you can see Philip Fulmer, but he's trying to get a review, and we'll wait and see if any of those buzzers sound on the hips of the officials. But look at that Vol defense, 64 rushing yards allowed, 7 tackles for loss, a couple of interceptions, one of those taken back for a touchdown. And that last interception will get this crowd heading toward the turnstiles. But a big defensive play on the other end out of Irvine, California. Long way.
Yeah.
Come over here to Lexington, Kentucky. Here's Ainge. A couple of good blocks as Chris Brown, the tight end, gets close to that first down marker. The 6'3", 245-pounder.
Well, Dave, one thing you can't do is you can't roll tackle or bump somebody out of bounds. You've got to grasp them. Watch, see if they grasp them right there. That's not a grasp. There's a bump. That's not a grasp. Now, finally, they get him at the end. But when you're, as you said, you're about 6'3", 245 pounds. You're not going to take a roll block and go out of bounds or go down.
And one of those missed tackles, Muhammad Abdullah, the safety, he is pretty sure when it comes to tackling. He's 2nd among defensive backs in total tackles in the league. And 3rd and very short air gains with a quarterback sneak. That'll be good enough for a first down.
As long as you're Tennessee and Phil Fulmer, you're able to have success running the football, doing those little safe little dump offs to your tight end. You just keep on running it. You just keep the clock going. You want to go home. He said last week, he said, boy, we hit rock bottom last week. This week we're starting back up. So he's going to hit the trail, do a lot of recruiting.
I mean, this is the first time in 16 years that he will not go to a bowl game. That breaks Tennessee's string, which was the 3rd longest in the country in terms of going to a bowl game. But you want to talk about a strange offseason for Philip Fulmer. Arian Foster with a good stiff arm. Bo Smith runs him out of bounds. But 16 straight bowl games, as you see, only surpassed by Michigan's consecutive string of 30. Then Florida State is at 23. Florida in there at 14. Of course, they are bowl eligible. And speaking of bowl eligible teams, that leads me to the Southeastern Conference. And, you know, there are 8 tie-ins with the SEC, but this year only 6 clubs able to make it into that postseason environment, which means the league will lose out on a little bit of bowl money. I think everybody's clamoring to try to get South Carolina in their bowl game. Arian Foster with a big hole, and that'll be close to another Tennessee first down. And while we're at it, you know, we can begin to look at players of the year and coaches of the year. But I got to tell you, as we look at this replay of Arian Foster, but Foster gets up a little slow. That's why we'll show that again. It just looks like he might have tweaked his ankle. But I got to say this, Steve Spurrier, the job that he did.
Oh, amazing. Who'd have thunk that? Gosh.
Far surpassed what anybody thought could have happened at South Carolina. And, you know, why do you think he was able to do it?
Well, I think, first of all, he coaches fundamentals. He brought a quarterback in Blake Mitchell out of nowhere. I had never heard of Blake Mitchell before this year, and what a year he had. He got the most out of his players. He found a guy named Sidney Rice, who is pretty incredible, and he just was able just to hang in there with games and made players react. I mean, people sometimes don't like his tactics or his methods. You remember the players that he suspended?
Right.
But they probably needed suspended. I hate to say that because I'm
well, the team that he took over when he got hired there in November was not the team he put on the field in September.
Yeah. Well, I think I think you've got a solid point there. I think he is a outstanding coach. Oh, that's short. You can see that. See the purple line?
You've got to get to the purple line.
Right.
We keep telling these guys you got to get to the purple line, and nobody wants to
We
listen.
ought to just show the purple line.
But I just hats off to South Carolina. And
how about some of these freshmen how about Darren McFadden?
Yeah.
What a year he had.
No team ranked in the top 25 in scoring offense. And you look at the defenses, though, if you rank 6th or 7th in this league, you're still in the top 20 in the country. Loose football. Eric Gaines got hit, and it sputters out of there, and it's Wesley Woodyard. He will take it back to the 40. They'll spot it where? At the 47-yard line of Tennessee.
And I want to tell you, Ainge took this ball. You talk about getting stuck. This is a stick thunk. He just got hit right in the helmet. The ball just came out the backside of his arm. Watch
this Kentucky defense.
Now you got 9.5 minutes left. Can you score 21 points in 9.5 minutes? Sure, you can do it. I have too.
I've seen it here. Can't do it if you throw interceptions. The only problem is usually it's the opponent putting up some last-minute charge against Kentucky.
Well, what happens on this play is that Pulley just zeroes in, and you see Jonathan Wade come over there. He's going to Tammy, his tight end, number 18. But you've got to be able to look off in this league, and that's something as a freshman quarterback you learn. You've got to be able to look to one side, then come back to your primary receiver. You've got to be able to look off. If you don't, those centers, I mean, those two safeties in the middle, they're just reading your eyes.
Jacob Tammy trying to get the corner.
Boy, what a wonderful fella he is. Watch the throw, two steps.
Curtis Pulley doesn't think so.
Well, wait a minute. That's merely a bump into somebody. I mean, it wasn't a vicious hit. I even saw a smile on Rich Brooks' face.
There isn't one on Philip Fulmer.
No.
10 penalties for 92 yards today.
Let's see if Pulley can look off receivers here. Nice step up in the pocket.
Pulley will run it. Get hit by 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys. First one on the spot was Ryan Carl.
And I can tell you that Pulley is going to learn one thing in the SEC. When you run the ball, you get to the ground.
Right.
Because you don't cut back and run over these
Chris
guys.
Leak at Florida has learned that.
Exactly. You better get to the ground, because let me tell you, the big boys are coming, and you can hear them. It's a learning experience. There's our purple line. He's only got to make it to what, about the 16 and a half, maybe?
If he can get to the 16, it'll be a first down. 2nd and 4. Pulley stands in there, fires, passes caught underneath. That's Tommy Cook.
Terrible base. What a terrible base.
You gotta have a wide base.
No, you were dodging.
Loose football. Tennessee's got it. No, they don't. It's still loose. Let's see who. It's still loose. Whistles are blowing before anybody had control.
You know, I believe in getting up and running with the ball, but what you've got to do is first recover it. Tennessee had that ball.
Matt McCutcheon comes up with the fumble recovery. Robert Ayers is the man who forced the fumble.
Now, you can't carry this like a loaf of bread. That ball barely gets touched. You got to put that ball away. Remember when we were in Florida and they talked about that ball security, their coaches? They coach ball security. Pulley needs to coach. They need to coach him in ball security.
That was Justin Harrell, not Robert Ayers, who forced the fumble. Robert Ayers had a chance to pick it up. He lost the handle. If people could see the signals, the hand signals that spotter Kim Anderson tries to give me, they would go, Dave, this is unbelievable that you're able to accomplish what you do.
Well, he's the best in the business, let me tell you. He's the best in the business.
I mean, here's Kim. This
there
is
he
Kim
is right there. That's him.
It
Look,
is
Kim.
It is like a fire drill when there's a fumble up here,
Yeah,
folks.
this is some of the movements.
Yeah. We have a good time. Kim's been spotting for the Neal boys, my dad included, since about 1975. Started in 74.
He's old. Of course, I was playing then, so.
You know, I've noticed his binoculars are getting thicker. Here's Pulley.
Screen.
Raphael Little Has some blockers, but then here comes the swarming group of white jerseys led by Jonathan Wade. Let's go downstairs and check in with Dave Baker. Buzz?
Dave, you might notice it's going to be third down now. Penn Wagers, the referee, said it was his determination that on the fumble there had not been a change of possession. Tennessee never possessed the ball in his opinion. Therefore, the downs don't reset. That's why Kentucky's now looking at the 3rd and 19.
From the 23. First down markers inside the 10-yard line. Actually inside the 5 at about the 4. Here's Pooley rolling, throwing, passes bobbled and intercepted. Demetrius Morley with the interception, his first of his young career. Keenan Burton had it and bobbled it, and Morley was there.
No excuse for this. This is Keenan Burton's fault. He just doesn't look it in. He tries to catch it against his body. Look at this, wide open. Don't look around to see where you're going to run, Keenan. Just look the ball in. That ball's delivered well. Over the defender, look at this. Jumps up, he doesn't even get hit. Boy, that's a good reaction, too. I want to tell you something right now. Morley makes a great play on that because he was coming up for the tackle and made that last-second adjustment and intercepted it. And what a difference, Dave. That would have been first down on the 5.
3 interceptions for the Tennessee defense today. Ainge under pressure, gets rid of it, and that was nearly picked off, but a flag comes down, and I think that's to indicate the ball did not get past the line of scrimmage.
I think that's exactly what
it was in the end zone, and so that if he they're going to talk about this. If Penn Wagers, who's back there, didn't think he got outside the tackle box and the ball did not get past the line of scrimmage, those two components have to happen. You have to have outside the tackle box, pass.
Yep.
The ball did not go beyond the line of scrimmage.
Exactly right, Dave. Excellent call.
So the scoreboard pops up 28-27. Now they take the 2 off, so it's 27-8. So something goes Kentucky's way. SEC football is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Lexington, Kentucky.
On a cool day.
Cool. Well, each week we've been promoting the Polaris Tough to vote for the Polaris Tough Play of the Week. All right, Derek. I don't know where Winston, Georgia is, and I live in Atlanta. Maybe you can drive his Polaris up and see me.
His ATV. You know what? I was just going to say, it's interesting. You have the option to kick off here, or you can punt. Almost everybody likes to punt because it gets such, high and they get good coverage. But this is a good opportunity for Kentucky to get a good return. Their special teams have been real special.
High, not very long, bobbled by Raphael Little, and he's dropped at the 41-yard line. Let's go back and check out our Aaron scoreboard. In Mississippi State with a couple of touchdowns, Ole Miss jumped out to a 7-0 lead. That game closing in on halftime. NC State late in the 4th, 20-14 over the Terrapins. Iowa State, that game has to be getting close to concluding. 21-14. Cyclones out on top.
In that NC State Maryland game, whoever wins goes to a bowl. They become bowl eligible.
Blues football. Aiden Lane falls on it, 57. Curtis Pooley hit by Paris Harrelson. That's his second forced fumble today to go along with 5 tackles, a sack, a quarterback pressure.
Yeah, there's that speed. Boy, I'll tell you, Harrelson, if he can rush like that all the way around the backside corner, look at the speed. Get to the outside. He uses that speed, gets good separation. I like the way he plays with his hands. I'll tell you, I know he's small, but you're looking at 2 forced fumbles, a quarterback pressure, 4 or 5 sacks.
Here's Pooley. Gets the corner, stays in bounds to the 35. He has been hit by a lot of big bodies in white jerseys today, but he keeps bouncing up.
Yeah, one of the things that Kentucky, I should say Tennessee, can do is they can put such pressure on you with only 4 rushing linemen. They don't need to bring backers because their front 4, they crush pockets all the time, just like they did that time. That time it was Hall coming in there, Jason Hall.
There's Raphael Little, who just set the single. Went over 1,000 yards this year on the ground alone. That's only the 6th player in UK history to do that in a season. He's averaging over 100 yards per game, which is 4th in the conference. The young man has just busted onto the scene, a sophomore out of Anderson, South Carolina. There's Pooley, steps up, fires, batted in the air again, and guess who's got it? Raphael Little out over the 40 to the 41. But on 4th and 15, he still needed about another 9 yards. And that will be a change of possession with 5:18 to go in the contest. Tennessee in control on the road. Tennessee leading 27-8, looking to make it 21 straight over the Wildcats. Tennessee takes over on downs. And Eric Ainge still in at quarterback. He hands it off to Arian Foster. Foster down to the 35-yard line. Last regular season game right here on Jefferson Pilot Sports in 2005. But don't forget, we'll come to you, break down the game for you, have some special interviews here from the coaches and players from Georgia and LSU, and get you set for what should be a great evening of Southeastern Conference football. That's all next week from Atlanta. Arian Foster to the outside, trying to get that first down, and gets about 8 more yards than necessary. And now Arian Foster up over 100 yards today.
And Dave, he had no chance of making that thing work. He gave that little dip inside, got the defensive corner to commit, and then burst outside of him. Again, watch this. The point of attack was right in there. He didn't get it. Now, right there, you see that little dip inside. He made Roger Williams bite on that dip. Then he gets to the outside and picks up that 6-7 yards that you talked about.
And for Arian Foster, that is 5 straight games with 100 yards on the ground. And it's his first 5 starts as a Tennessee Volunteer. That's a pretty good omen for 2006. And as far as Arian Foster, to put a cap on this, he's the first running back since Chuck Webb back in '89, who just had an unbelievable freshman year, to rush for 100 yards in his first 5 career starts. So, and Arian Foster moving up the charts among Tennessee's freshman running backs. Chuck Webb, I was talking to Haywood Harris and Gus Manning, of course, 2 legendary, knowledgeable people in the Tennessee family, and they were talking to me about just the kind of season Chuck Webb had in 1989. They just said, had he not had some injuries, this young man would have set the world on fire. Chuck Webb doesn't need to lose any yards. Ricky Abram with the tackle. That happened one year, and you remember the guy, when I was a little kid, my dad was doing the Falcons games. Dave Hampton was a running back for the Atlanta Falcons.
I remember it.
And he went over 1,000 yards, got tackled, he carried it one more time and lost like 3 yards, and nobody paid attention to it, but he finished with like 998 that season.
I remember that. I remember that so well. Yeah, the mark when I played in the NFL was 1,000 yards. But you know, I was thinking along Chuck Webb when you were talking about him. Yeah. Realize this, with that average, you can't have a bad game. I mean,
123 a game.
You're averaging 123 a game.
That handoff to Foster will gain back what he lost. Woodyard with his 12th tackle for the Wildcats as the clock goes under 2:40.
And Dave, you see where Mike Archer is going to need help on this defense, and it's up front. Right now, Tennessee outweighs the front line of Kentucky, and they're pounding them down. They're just wearing them down later and later in the game. And he said, I've got to have 4 or 5 big linemen. I'm going out to get them as soon as the season's over. There's Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator.
Said, you know, the quick help is the junior college route. Yeah. You don't want to spend a lot of your scholarships on junior college, but I think this is a situation where you plug a hole or two defensively with some JC players bring in some of the true freshman guys that maybe can help you a year or two down the road, and go from there.
Well, and it's always interesting to hear coaches say, you wouldn't think that defensive linemen are the hardest players to try and get.
Well, one final time this year. Let's go down to Dave Baker. How many times have I said that this year? Let's go to Dave Baker.
Thank you very much, Dave. Listen, holiday shopping season. My buddy Tom Leach, who does the UK play-by-play, he says the other day, I've got a perfect Christmas present for you, and the cost is great too. Look at this, vintage Dave Rowe, New Orleans Saints.
Goodness.
I mean, look at that. That's like pristine condition. Now the best thing is what it says on the back. Dave, a 4 sports star in high school, was an all-Pennsylvania college selection. And look, there's a little skirt that says, Dave played in the Hula Bowl.
Thank you.
But I mean, who is that young guy?
Who did you play against in that Hula Bowl?
Steve Spurrier.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah, we reminisced with Steve Spurrier about that when we saw him for the Florida game, and he was talking about, you remember Big Dave Rowe coming at him?
Yeah, he said, I remember you chasing me. I said, well, I probably never got to you.
Right. Incomplete to Raphael Little, 1:48 to go in this game. And for Kentucky, Dave, we've talked about their needs. They need to get, I think first and foremost, they need to get healthy.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, Tennessee, they're going to have athletes. They're going to have playmakers. But the playmakers, like this wide receiver core, probably as gifted talently, physically as anybody in this league, but they just did not create any big plays all year for Tennessee. Can you coach that, or is that just an innate ability from a player?
Well, you cannot coach speed, but you can coach catching the ball, looking it in, the basic fundamentals and those things. You can coach that. But what they need to do is they need to sit down, make a decision on their quarterback. They thought they had it coming in. We saw that UAB game to open up the season, and then all of a sudden it started getting shaky, and it's been back and forth, and it's been a nightmare for Philip Fulmer.
Well, they can start working on next season right this second, if they so choose, both of these teams, with 1:23 and counting to go here in Lexington. But it's been a real problem today for Kentucky, and it's been an issue for them, and that is red zone scoring. They just haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone this afternoon in the red zone when they had some golden opportunities. Pulley out to Raphael Little, and he'll pick up the first down. If you can't see that, let me tell you what it says. They are 0 for 5 with 2 field goals. In terms of touchdowns, they are 0 for 5. And they had some opportunities in that red zone look, powered by Honda generators, for the ultimate tailgating experience.
Well, they got down there. You remember one time they went for it. They didn't get it on that 4th down when they went down on the 1-yard line, came up. Then they had to flinch, I should say, on 4th down. And they just have shot themselves in the foot. You have got to be able to get in that red zone and get touchdowns, especially when you're playing against a team like Tennessee. You get opportunities. They got 3 in that first half and got 6 points out of it.
David Hamilton in at quarterback, hands off to Raphael Little. David Hamilton getting some work, the 6'2" junior out of Lexington Tates Creek High School, just around the corner from Commonwealth Stadium. There is Keenan Burton. He looks like he's a little banged up. He's been this way all year. He missed 4 games with a broken foot.
Well, I looked at Rich Brooks' staff, and I said to him, it's not like it was a few years ago when he used to say, man, do we need help. Now he said, if you give me 5 players, I can turn this whole program around. And that's what they're going to go after, those 5. Now, I don't know exactly where those 5 players, where he thinks they're needed, but he's got a plan. And he's got some pieces of the puzzle in place.
Pulley back on the field, and he is dropped back at the 20-yard line.
There's a mistake, Dave. You don't eat that football in that situation. You don't take a 10, 12-yard loss on a play. You get rid of it. Got to feel that pressure coming up the middle right there. See that pressure right there coming up the middle? Now what you do is roll out, throw the ball, get rid of it.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the numbers over here. That's the 73rd play for Kentucky today. They have only amassed 218 yards of offense. That's 3 yards per play.
Well, and you see that front 4 of Tennessee. They put tremendous pressure on the quarterback all day long, and they forced him to throw underneath. And if you're going to beat Tennessee, you've got to go deep. You've got to challenge their secondary.
Well, it's not going to happen today as the clock strikes 0. Philip Fulmer wins the final game of the year. And certainly that is a breath of fresh air that this team had lost 4 of their last 5 games this season. But they win today. Their streak now at 21. It's been since 1964 that they've lost to Vanderbilt and Kentucky in the same season. So that streak will continue as well. But today, Tennessee got off to a good start and held on 27-8. Their defense was great. And really, Eric Ainge, he didn't throw a lot, only 3 completions in the second half, but he was 17 out of 25 for 221 and 2 TDs. Let's go downstairs, check in with a defensive star alongside Dave Baker.
Hey, Dave, we're here with Paris Harrelson. Not the biggest guy in the world, but boy, you guys can make it work up front.
We just come out and play hard in each and every game. You know, our season hadn't went the way we wanted to go, but we just had to come out here and try to finish up. You know, finish hard.
Paris, what's it been like for you? It hadn't been the kind of season you wanted, but this gives you a boost going into the offseason.
I mean, yeah, it gives us a boost going to the offseason. We know got a lot of things to work on. Just got to get back to work and get ready.
All right, thanks, Paris. We appreciate it. Head coach Philip Fulmer. Hey, Miss Fulmer, how you doing? Philip, a good way to get your season going into the offseason. I know it's not ending up the way you wanted.
No, we haven't had a season quite like this one, and I'm proud of the kids for sticking to it, and our seniors. I mean, we never did really have an effort problem during the course of the year, Dave, but we just didn't make enough plays. Made some plays today. Defense has done real well for us this year, and our special teams have gotten better. But obviously we got a lot to do in the offseason to get back where we want to be next year.
We were with you before week 1, before that UAB game. I think the performance you got from Eric in the first half is what you thought you were going to get from him all season long.
I think Eric's a good prospect. He's obviously got, a lot to learn yet, and he's a very talented young man. And had a tough year. He had a tough year. He and Rick, that whole thing was kind of never panned itself out like anybody would like for it to, either way. And but he's a good prospect.
Yeah, he's a better prospect with a guy like Arian Foster in the backfield. 5 starts, 5 100-yard games for you.
Arian's a good back, and competition next spring and next fall make him a real good back before it's all said and done. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Philip. Okay. We appreciate it. Dave, back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Buzz. A somber Philip Fulmer, but you mentioned it. Arian Foster will have some competition in that tailback spot, which should be a lot of fun. We will be back right after this.
Line is good.